Welcome to the podcast. We're kicking off the 4th season of the podcast, a space designed to have raw, real, and authentic conversations around health and wellness, featuring none other than our incredible pure ambassadors of wellness. Hey Bulldogs, welcome back to the podcast. I'm Melissa Norris. I'm a health educator over at the Student Health and Counseling Center, and I have with me our pure ambassadors of wellness who are here to speak about the topic of mental health today.
Hi, I'm Evelyn.
Hi, my name's Frank.
Hi, I'm Matthew.
So we're talking about mental health. That's a really big topic, but I feel like we can't really talk about mental health without kind of checking in, because as a college student, you guys have a lot on your plates. I doubt seriously the only thing you are juggling is your classes. So talk to me about what it's like to juggle everything as a college student and how that impacts your mental health.
For me personally, it has been so stressful. I think a lot of professors tend to forget that we have lives outside of school and that we're not only struggling with their class, but also other classes, home things, just life in general. So that's been really a struggle for me.
I find that it's important to find that balance, like school plus extracurriculars. I know we're part of PAWs, that's a volunteer and leadership organization, and it's just important to make time for yourself and find that level of balance as a whole.
Talk to me about how you guys do that. How do you find that balance? Like, how do you and where do you fit in that time to prioritize your mental health?
Honestly, for me, whenever and wherever I can. When I go home, I honestly don't do anything for a while. I like to be lazy, lay in my bed, scroll on TikTok, so that's what I do. Or if I want to get creative and just take a dabble into that, I like to sew, so that's also what I do. But I also like to go to therapy. Therapy has been helping me a lot.
It's that space that you don't have to, and sometimes we go to our friends and our family and talk to them, you know, they know a little bit more of us personally, they know the story, maybe they have their own opinion or perspective on things. So I think sometimes that judgment, even if it's not intended, can sometimes still come out. But when you're in therapy, again, therapists are there for that. That's the beauty of it. Yeah. What about for Matthew and Frank? What are the things that you guys do to help bring you up or to prioritize your mental health?
Brings me up for mental health is that I'm just like happy to like spend time with my mom. Like on the weekends we would go to like malls and all that stuff, and I would spend time going to the gym, really. So the gym is like my therapy.
Yeah.
So just, you know, bumping up the weights, you know, yeah.
I think a lot of people can resonate with that. Sometimes yes, there's a lot of benefits to therapy, but sometimes what therapy looks like can be going to the gym, lifting heavy, running hard, whatever that might look like. It's all about what gives you that feel-good energy when you need it the most, when you're down, that thing that kind of pulls you up. How about you, Matthew?
I can definitely relate to both Frank and Evelyn with therapy and the rec center, with going to the gym. And I don't think it was mentioned yet, but those services are free, so definitely take advantage of that. I like to recharge and refocus after a long day of school. And for me, Thursdays, at the end of Thursdays, like today, is my weekend because I don't have classes Friday. So it's nice to have that 3-day weekend to relax and regroup.
Well, isn't it funny, too, that can so often be our So we went and asked our followers on social media what they do to help bring themselves up when they're feeling down. So we had some interesting responses. I think some of the commonalities we've already talked about with like friends and family and kind of that social space. I saw music play a really heavy impact on things that help to bring them up. Music an important part for you guys when it comes to bringing up your mental health?
For sure. I like to listen to sad music. Even when I'm happy, I just need to feel all the feelings to get it all out of me, but I love to dance in my room with headphones on or like have a concert in my shower.
I love it. Well, one of our followers agrees. So they said they like to have a concert in their bathroom with their headphones on. I can almost picture that right now. How about you, Frank?
I would say, just like what Evelyn said, is just listening to my music and at the same time just like cooking at the kitchen. So while you're cooking your meals, you could just like listen to your favorite music. So you're just like dancing in the kitchen.
Absolutely. I'm with you on that one. Any others that stood out to you from some of the answers we got from our followers?
Spending unnecessary money. I love to shop till I drop. If I'm feeling down, I want to make myself feel good. So I have to buy something that I absolutely love, especially clothes. I love clothes. So
guilty of that. I've had the days where I have to take off work and just like, I need a mental health day, and then I end up at the store shopping like crazy. So not that we're endorsing spending a lot of money unnecessarily, but, you know, sometimes we just need that moment, right?
I find the retail therapy a bit funny because, like, yes, it'll make the person feel good, but your debit card won't agree.
Right.
That's the downside of it.
Just return it, right? Yeah. So I guess one of the things that we haven't necessarily talked about is that I think sometimes we have to kind of know, like, how do we know that we're in that space that our mental health might be struggling? So do you guys have certain tells that you kind of realize, I'm maybe not in a good space, and maybe I need to turn towards one of those things to help bring me up?
I have two tells. One of them is just like when I don't want to talk to my friends, I know I'm having a really bad time. They're usually the first ones that I go to talk about stuff. But once I start shutting people out, that's when I know, like, I'm having a lot of trouble. I also would say, this sounds a little silly, but if my room is messy, I can tell I'm having a bad day. So depending on how my room is, that's how I know, like, where my mental health is at.
That's so true. I think sometimes our environment tells us a lot about what our mental state is like. How about you, Matthew?
Sometimes I tend to get isolated if I'm feeling down or just want to be alone. But I know it's important to reach out to family, friends, or loved ones because they're there for support, and it's okay to be vulnerable.
As for me personally, whenever I feel like my mental health is just going down, that's when I decided to, like, isolate myself. And by that, I would, like, isolate myself from my friends, family members, and just getting the time to just, like, spend some time alone. So yeah.
Well, and it's interesting because I think those very things that bring us up, our friends, our family, like you talked about your mom, those very same things sometimes are what we avoid when we need the help the most. And I think sometimes asking for help or making that reach out can be one of the hardest parts of trying to actually take the time for your mental health. Would you agree?
Yes.
Well, we touched a little bit earlier in our conversation on talking about some of the ways that we kind of bring ourselves up. We talked about therapy as one of those tools. And obviously, I think we'd be remiss without having at least a little bit of a dialogue about the fact that our Student Health and Counseling Center does have those services for our students, and that it's free. And let me tell you guys, that's a great thing, because once you graduate, it is no longer free, and it's a little bit harder to access. There's a lot of challenges that come with that in accessing therapy down the line. But here we are, free, unlimited, individual, and we have group counseling services here within the Student Health and Counseling Center. And I was really excited because we asked our followers, like, did they know this? And usually one of our biggest challenges is that a lot of times students don't know that this is true. We had 70% who said they already knew that. And that made me feel really good. I think we've come a long way as a campus, as a society, in talking more about mental health. So the awareness being there really makes me happy to see. But what would you guys say to students when it comes to our services in terms of encouraging them to access those services? Or are there kind of little golden nuggets that we offer that you'd want to make sure your fellow peers know about?
I would say it's good to take advantage of those resources. It's free, it's accessible, because like you said, Melissa, it's not quite as accessible when you graduate, and it's really expensive too. So take advantage of it while you're here.
I would say don't be afraid to utilize them. No one's there to judge you. They're there to help you, so definitely go and try it out.
Yeah, and I highly encourage to those people who are not aware of our services is that like what Matthew and Evelyn said, everything is free.
No, it's free. And I think the other thing too that we so often misplace or assume that therapy has to be for, I have to be in crisis to use it. You can use it for anything. I mean, truly, it is a tool for, I had a bad day. I got into a fight with my roommate. I'm struggling in my classes and I don't know how to balance and juggle it all. It can be all of those things. I think in a lot of ways it can be a tool that stops you from getting to that place of crisis, that gives you the tools, the resources, the connections now before you get to that unhealthy place. So obviously I'm a personal proponent for it. I'm a professional proponent for it. But again, it's here as a tool and a resource, and I hope our students will take advantage of that. Well, we always end our episodes off with a question of the week for the podcast. So let's see here. My question for you guys today, we're talking about mental health, things that bring you up. Oftentimes the weather can play a big impact on this. So would you rather sunny and spring breezes for the weather or overcast and colder weather? Matthew, let's start with you.
I like sunny. I could be biased because my birthday's in the summer, but I really like the warm temperatures.
Awesome, I love it.
I would also say sunny. I think I do get like a seasonal depression, so whenever it's gloomy, I'm gloomy. So I'd rather it be sunny and I just feel better about everything.
Yeah, same for me. Also sunny, because it's just like it's bright and just bright and sunny, and it just makes you like feeling all happy. So, yeah.
I'm going to be the oddball out because I would have said overcast and cold, because if I can bundle in blankets and sit on my couch and read a book, like, I'm happy. But yes, sunny's also beautiful. Our weather's been gorgeous lately. So
That kind of weather is coming up soon for you then.
it is. I know. See, I'm going to be really happy coming up very soon. You're all going to be looking for the sun, trying to find it, right?
Yeah, I get so cold in the winter, I cannot handle it.
This is why I have a blanket in my office. So if you get cold in the building, just let me know. All right. Well, thank you so much, Bulldogs, for tuning in to another episode of the podcast. We'll see you next time. Make sure you're following us on Instagram at FS Health Center, where we're going to share more opportunities to take that deeper dive into wellness and to have some fun at the same time. You can also visit our website at fresnostate.edu/health to learn more about the programs and services available at the Student Health and Counseling Center.